So to start off with our today's session, I'm going to start with a poll, your first poll, okay? So actually the last class, I asked you to, go just look or gather some information on goals and dreams. I hope you remember. So the first poll is going to, ask you that. The first question, I'm just going to launch it. I've launched it. Are goals and dreams the same? Okay. I'm ending the poll. I'm sharing my results. So 38% have mentioned yes, and 62%, have told us no. Okay. So yes. And to start off, the next question comes. Can we have both goals and dreams? I've launched it again. This is your second question. Yes. Another 2-3 seconds. Your second question is up for you. Can we have both goals and dreams? I've got just, one answer from everyone. That's nice. I'm sharing my results. So 100%, everybody, accepts that everyone can have both goals and dreams. So now starting our today's session, I'm sharing my screen. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay. So in our today's session on day 3, we are going to learn something very, relative to the question I asked. Okay. Goals. So what are goals? So if we talk about, definitions or, exact terms, goals are nothing but we have to achieve it. No, it's an end to our, requirement. Whereas dreams, they are imaginary. So when I say, are they the same? No, they are not the same. But can we have both? Definitely yes. So dreams versus goals. So if you see here, okay. So if you see here, dreams and goals are something you're acting on. So you want to achieve something. So you're taking some measures to get to it. Whereas dreams are, just think about. Again, going forward, goals have deadlines. Only when you achieve it, then it is complete. Whereas dreams are just dreams. You can just continue dreaming. It never has a end line or a deadline. Goals have a cost because we have, in order to get to our final, destination, we need some cost is incurred over there. Whereas dreams are free. Nobody charges you for dreams. Goals produce results and dreams are imaginary. Goals have a finish line, again, deadlines. Dreams can inspire you. Goals must have focus. Dreams stretch your imaginations. Goals require hard work. Does everybody accept with me on this term? That, goals require hard work. Today's topic is goals. No, it's not goals. Today's topic is not goals, Vishal. But why I'm, starting with this, you'll get to know. We are just nearing it. So there's a, very fine line between, goals and dreams. Fine. So going forward, so everybody wants something of this. Car, get into some adventurous trips, a beautiful vacation, a wonderful house. So all of us have some dreams. So in order to fulfill our dreams, we make it a goal. So when you make it a goal, when you want to achieve it, what you do is plan. Planning is more important. Only when you plan, you will, get it. When you were in 10th standard, your parents would have asked what group you wanted to proceed, what group you wanted to study, right? All our parents would have asked, right? So we dream then itself, correct? We dream then, like what we dream of becoming an officer. We dream of getting a business, running our own business. We dream something. We don't know what the dream is, but we have something. Driving a beautiful car, you know, driving a bike, going for vacations. I think all of us dream. You know, you ask kids, what do you want? I want to become a doctor. I want to become an engineer. That's a dream, right? But in order to proceed, what else is happening? So you're fixing a timeline, right? So what happens is when you want to achieve something, you have to, when you want to fulfill something, what you do is you make proper planning, because everything involves cost, right? So we have to know what a plan, financial planning is, you know, very essential. This is the right time for you guys to make up this decision. And at the end of the session, you will know, you know, the importance of the financial planning. Definitely, you know, it will be a eye opener for you guys. So yes, we'll proceed further. Again, making lots of money. So what is financial planning? So see, definitions, apart from definitions, financial planning is nothing but you want something, you work towards it. In order to work towards it, you set few objectives. You assess which is right, which is wrong. Where can I get this money? How do I utilize the money I've got? All this. Okay, that is what is financial planning. You're planning your finance. You're planning your money to attain your goals. So what does financial planning do? So it, you know, it evaluates. What it does, it evaluates the pros and cons, the do's and don'ts. So this is where financial planning helps. So all talking, and you know, when we get into the system, Excel helps us, you know, in a very easy way to help this financial planning. So today's class will be on that. So here I'm, you know, showing you a question. A question where it says, given below are some data points about a person. Create a simple financial plan for the person and comment where he is able to meet his financial goals. Also, explore if he can buy a home worth 80 lakhs in 2030 instead of currently planned. So apart from the questions, do you see this part? Do you see this part? Everyone? Do you see this? Income, age, retirement age, monthly expenses, salary increase, expected salary increase, expected inflation, current net savings. Do you see this? Everyone? Yes, no? Is everybody able to see my Excel screen? Yes, Gautam answers. Thank you, Gautam. Thank you, Pooja. Yes, Gautam, you have a question for me? Okay, you put S. So, okay, fine. Fine. So here it's a simple statement. So what I'm trying to tell is a person who is of 27 years old, his income is 10 lakhs. Okay. He expects all the retirement age is about 58. His monthly expenses, that is per month expenses, is about 50,000. Expected salary increase, which is nothing but your income. So what income he earns. So of 10 lakhs every year, he expects a 10% increase. Obviously, when we, you know, get into a company, when we work after a year, we get an increment. Likewise, when we do a business, our income increases every year. We propose a increased income. So that's why we are giving a approximation of 10% increase in the income. Expected inflation. So if you remember what we studied in our first day's class, last day, the previous day's class, everything, inflation is a part of our life. If you've got tomatoes for 30 rupees last week, this week it might go to 40 rupees, or it might go down to 20 rupees also. So inflation is a part of our life. It comes, it goes everywhere. If something new comes, everything, you know, changes. If a new rule comes, everything changes. So we get accustomed to what is happening around us. So, and here the I'm sorry, here there is a current net savings of 2 lakhs. So imagine a person who is of 27 years old. He has an income of 10 lakhs per annum. He expects his retirement age to be 58. His monthly expenses are 50,000. His expected salary increase every year is 10%. The expected inflation rate in the economy is 8%. And the current net savings he has is about 2 lakhs. So now here, when we calculate, when we see this, what are we doing with this information? So this person, everybody's goal, you know, is to start a business, to buy a car, to buy a bike, to build a home. This is our dream, and that is what our final goal is. So he plans his income and whether he's able to achieve it in his lifetime. That is what financial planning helps you. So if you see here, I've just put a small, you know, note kind of, which says inflow minus outflow is savings. So to explain on it, it is nothing but your inflow is the income you earn. Your outflow is your expenses. The difference between these two is your savings. So always we should ensure that there are savings. We plan our savings well in advance so that our goals are met. Okay. So here, if you see, this is an inflow, your income is an inflow, your expenses is an outflow. Here I've given expenses per month. So we can convert this into, you know, per year. So per year, if I want to convert, I can choose this multiplied by 12. So that will give you 6 lakhs per annum, right? So my income is 10 lakhs per annum. My expenses are 6 lakhs per annum, right? Okay, fine. Fine. So my income is 10 lakhs per annum and my expenses are 6 lakhs per annum. And my current net savings is nothing but, say he is already, when we are talking about, we are starting our planning today. So today I have a savings, or the person has a savings of 2 lakhs. So what does he do? That is our next question. So if you go down, here I've given something. So forget all this. Okay, forget all this. I'll just explain first what it is. So he wants to, I'm just removing all this so that I don't confuse you. I'll tell all this step by step. Okay. So he wants to start. So we are in year 2020. The person wants to start a business in 2025. He wants to buy a car in 2027, and he wants to buy a house in 2035. So his income is 10 lakhs. His expenses are, 6 lakhs per annum, and he already has a current savings of 2 lakhs. The increase in income is supposed to be 10%. Expected inflation is about 8%. So whatever is given here, whatever is given here, here, it is the current price. Okay. So if he wants to start a business, today he estimates he need 10 lakhs. Okay. His estimation is that today, if I'm going to start a business, I need 10 lakhs. Today, if I want to buy a car of my choice, I need 10 lakhs. If I have a dream of building a home, and it could, cost me about 55 lakhs. So all these are today's values. So the first thing I have to do is I have to find the inflated value. So what is an inflated value? Can you tell me what an inflated value is? Can you give me your answers on the chat box? What is an inflated value? I've given you, if I'm going to start a business, rise in prices. Yes, Nishant, you're right. Yes, inflated value. So say, for example, today I buy a plot of land for 10 lakhs. Will it be the same in 2025? Today, if I want to buy, I can buy it for the cost of a car in 2027. Yes, Pooja, you're right. Yes, everybody, I know you understand it. So see, if I want to buy it today, it would cost me 10 lakhs, but I'm not going to buy it today. I'm making a financial plan so that I get to buy it in the proposed year, 2025, I want to start my business, a car in 2027, and a house in 2035. Yes, Pooja, you want to mention something? You can mention in the chat box, please. Yes, you have raised your hand. Do you want to tell me anything? Yes, Pooja, do you have any questions for me? Okay, no problem. It's okay. So in order to find the inflated price, we have the inflation. So we have the percentage, an approximate percentage of inflation which is going to happen. So what I will do is, I will just have to take this current price into 1 plus the inflated rate. Okay. Before we do this, I'd like to, post my next question. So let's go to the poll and then, come back. So I've launched my poll. This is a function I taught you, in the previous classes. I've launched my poll. I told you about some function F4. Can you tell me where do we use this F4? 68%. Any more? 17 of them have answer. Okay, I'm ending the poll. The formula, yeah, sure, I'll definitely do it, Vishal. No problem, I'll explain it, don't worry. I've just asked a poll question. I taught, I mentioned function F4 last 2 classes. So I just wanted to know if you guys remember it, that's all. So I'm sharing the results. Okay, the function F4 is used to freeze a cell. Okay, that's the right answer. So going ahead with our, our thing, let's forget about this before I, go to this. So there's a function which is called F4. There's a function key which is called F4. It helps to freeze. You can freeze separately the column and you can freeze separately the row also. Or you can freeze a particular cell. You can do either of this. So here I need to freeze a cell. Okay, so when I have to freeze a cell, the formula to calculate inflated value is nothing but equal to the current price into, okay, 1 plus the rate of inflation. So I'm going to freeze this. If I freeze this, if I'm going to just copy the formula, what happens is all the cells will take the same cell for calculation. So if I press, and you see, if I press F4 once, I'll get $2 symbols. Okay, I'll get $2 symbols. That is freeze C column and freeze the 12th row. That is what it stays. Supposing I'm pressing it again. Okay, supposing I press it again, what happens is the column is not frozen, but the row will be frozen. Only the row, $12. So only this part is frozen. Only the row will be frozen. If I do it again, you see that only the column will be frozen and the row will be mobile. Okay, so we can use this freeze formula as per our requirement. If I just want to freeze the column alone, I can use it. If I want to freeze the row alone, I can use it. If I want to freeze a cell also, I can use it, both, the row and column. But here I need to freeze the cell. So I just click it once. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. So this is my formula. I have one more character, characteristics or, parameter which I should consider, because I'm calculating today for 2025. Yes. So I'm going to find the inflated value after 5 years. So I will do this to the power of 5. Are you able to get me? This is the formula for calculating inflated rate. See, inflated rate is nothing but our future value. Simple. Okay, this is going to be our future value, our estimation of the future value. So this is how we do it. So enter and I'll get, so today's cost, if it's going to be 10 lakhs, after 5 years, if I'm going to start a business, I'll need 14 lakhs. Are we clear with this? Why are we using 1 in that formula? Okay, so you're asking about this one, right? Have you heard, I think we studied this in the first class, PNR. We didn't get into the detail because we just directly used formula. But when, the functions of present value and future value in Excel. But when we do it, in a manual calculation, we use, we use the formula where the cash flows divided by 1 plus R to the power T. Likewise, in order to find the future value, we will do cash flow into 1 plus R to the power T. You remember this? This is a standard formula we use in order to find the future value. It has various variations. That will all go in, depth. When we go in depth, you'll be able to understand it. So don't worry on it now. Say, I'll give you a classic example. Say I'm going to invest 100 rupees in a bank today. Okay, I'm going to invest 100 rupees in a bank today, and I'm getting a 10% return rate of that. So what will it, give me after 1 year? That is the question. So my money of 100 grows by 10%. Correct? So can you tell me what it can be? How we can do it? Can anybody tell me what will be the final amount I get after a year, and how we can calculate it? Any idea? So if I'm going to have 100 rupees today, I'm going to invest it in a bank, and the bank gives me 10%, interest on that. What will be the amount I get? Any idea how? 1,200. Gautam, I'll be the first one to invest it there. Can you just give me how you have calculated this? $1,200. Can you help me with the calculation? Can you just roughly tell me how you have calculated this? Can you, put your answer in the chat box? 110, Dhyanesh. I want an answer. Like, can you answer me why, how you've got it? 100 plus 10. That's how you've got it, is it? Just an approximation, ma'am. Is it so? So that is where you use this formula. Say, for example, we'll do the calculation here. 100 into 1 plus 10%, right? 1 plus 10%. So enter 110. Okay, this is the same formula we have implemented here. Correct? 10% of 100 is 10. So 100 plus 10. Yes, the same thing is what we are doing here also. This formula, why we have this 1 is nothing but when we do a compounding interest, this is just for 1 year, right? So what we do is we take this as a common factor, like bringing out of the bracket, right? Something like that. So for that reason, the formula for calculating the future value is given as C into 1 plus R to the power T. So the same formula we use it to find our inflation rate also. Okay, that is where we get this formula equal to the current price, which is nothing but our cash flow, into 1 plus the expected rate of inflation, which is 8%. And I'm freezing this cell so that I just can copy it to the cells below it. But I'm raising the power. This is what is T, right? The T we use here, the tenure. So I want it after 5 years, and that is the reason I'm using to the power 5. Is everybody, clear on this formula? Anybody has, any queries? Because this is very important when we do our calculation. This is the base. This is not only useful for our financial planning, everyday planning. We need something. These are all, small bits. We tend to understand it better. Is everybody okay with this formula and calculation? Everybody understood this? Can you give me an answer on the chat box, please? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you, Dhyanesh. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Purni and Abdullah. So I'm just going to drag this down. So you see that I'm getting the same answer here, right? For 10 lakhs, in 2025 also it's 14 lakh 69. For 2027 also it's 14 lakhs and 69. Is it right? Or did I miss something here? I just copied. So Excel, it just, when I drag it, it copies whatever formula I've given here, correct? So the small change which I have to make is just change the number of years, because for 2025, it becomes 5 years. Whereas for 2027, I need for 7 years, right? Likewise, for 2035, I'll need for 15 years. Just change the numbers and I'll get my answer. Is everybody okay with this? So far so good? So now that I've got, I've got the answer for, I've got the answer. So I've got the current price. I've got the inflated price also. Now I need to make my financial plan. So I am a finance consultant. So this person comes to get some help from me, asking, see, I need, these are my goals. Okay. These are my goals. I have these goals to accomplish by the time I retire. And I also want to ensure that I earn enough so that I don't depend on anyone during my retirement or after my retirement for that matter. So now you're a financial consultant. As a finance student, it need not be a finance. You can help your dad, you can help your uncles, you can help your brothers, who are already, doing business, who are already working. You can tell them, see, I can help you achieve your goals. I can help you with a financial plan. You just go and show them this, you will feel a sense of accomplishment. That's for sure. So you have all this information. So now the next part of it is, we are just going to work it out, how we are going to do it. So I've already worked it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to redo it for you. Let me just copy this part. Just give me a minute. I'm just copying it. Okay. So I've got, these are the essentials ones, nothing but this is how, we have to explain it, right? It should be clear. Any person who sees this should be able to understand it. So that's why we are doing it. I'm sorry, just 1 minute, just 1 minute. Okay, we're good to go. Yes, sorry, 1 minute, I've got it all. So we've got few, so what we have here, I have age, I have year, I have net investment value, I have income, I have expense, everything from our question. Now we already have it. So age of that person, okay, age of that person is 27, right? So, okay. Okay. So age of that person is 27. Okay. Okay. Age of that person is 27. Okay. Year is 2020. Fine. And net investment value. What is net investment value? Net investment value is what we already have in hand. So if you see the question, our current savings is 2 lakhs, correct? Our current savings is 2 lakhs. So to make it a bit more simple, I'm going to just enter the values, in rupees lakhs, INR lakhs, to make the calculation a bit simple. So how do we convert, how do we convert, rupees lakhs? How do we convert it? Just divide by the number of zeros, right? So a lakh has 5 zeros. So if I have to make, 2 lakhs, if I have to convert it, I will do equal to this divided by 10 to the power 5, because a lakh has 5 zeros. Enter, I've got 2. The same thing I can imply it here also. If I'm going to use a unit of measure, I will have to use the same unit of measure throughout my calculations. So that is default. So this value divided by 10 to the power 5. So 14.69. So I'm just making it simple, because if we have too many zeros, it might confuse us a bit. So that is why I'm just converting it. So let's go back to our plan. I'm sorry. Let's go back to our plan. So our net investment value is 2 lakhs. Okay. My income is 10 lakhs. Correct? That's in our question. My expenses is 6 lakhs. Okay. And my savings is going to be 10 lakhs minus 6 lakhs, which will be 4 lakhs. you have something over here which is net investments at the year end. So is there a difference between the savings I have mentioned here and the net investments at the year end? Do you think there is a difference or it's going to be the same here? Can it be different or can it's going to be same? Net investments at the year end will have whatever investments, whatever incomes, whatever savings I have at the end of the year. The savings here, it's just my incomes minus expenses. So over here, we also have that we have, if you see our question, expected investment return is 10%. Okay, expected investment returns. So whatever I have over here, whatever answer I have over here will grow by 10%. Okay, whatever investments I have over here, it will grow by 10%. So what we will do is equal to whatever, this is my, I already opened with it. So I'm going to see it grow. So what I'll do again into 1 plus 10%. It is growing, right? This investment is growing. I will freeze it so that when I copy my formula, it will help. Okay, plus this savings. Are we clear? Are you able to get it? Students, if I'm going too fast or if you're not able, if you get a bit confused, please let me know, because this is going to be very essential for you to know how we get this net investments at year end. Can I proceed or do you want me to repeat again? Can anyone, if you give me your answers, please? Yes, Megha, Abdullah, Purni, Dhyanesh, Pooja, Alexi. Anyone, are you able to get this concept? Okay, yes, Vishal, sure. So you understand this part, the age part, the year part? Fine, so now I'm doing it. Yes. So the age of a person we are going to help is 27. We are in the current year 2020. And if you see the question, the person already has a savings of 2 lakhs. That's already in his pocket. He has 2 lakhs. It can be as cash. It can be as savings on bank account. It can be a term deposit. Fine. It can be anything. So he has 2 lakhs already as his savings. So his expenses, I'm sorry. Okay. His expenses, that is his income, his income is 10 lakhs and his expenses is 6 lakhs. So the difference between income and expenses will be his savings of 4 lakhs. Okay. So at the end of the year, it is just not the savings of 4 lakhs he's having, but he's also having an already existing savings of 2 lakhs. So if I just calculate, I can also say that, okay, my net investment value plus the savings will give me my year-end values. Whereas I will get only 6 lakhs, but that is not the case. I have an investment already and it is growing, right? I have an investment return, a return of 10%, like how we explained the 100 rupees in a bank. I deposit 100 rupees in a bank, I get a 10% interest. So when I take end of the year, I will do a future value of that, right? So the same concept we are doing over here. So we take the net investment value into 1 plus, I'm going to find the future value, 1 plus 10%. I freeze this because I'm going to have the same formula throughout. So this is my future value of this 2 lakhs and I'm making a savings of 4 lakhs. Are we good now? Are you able to get? So I'm getting 6.2 lakhs at the end of the year. So you should tell me if it's okay. Are you able to get this now? Yes? No, ma'am, still confusing? Yes, still confusing. Alexi, Abdullah, is it confusing or good to go? Can we proceed further? Understood. Okay, thank you. Okay, super. So what we'll do now is, now, like how I told you last time, it's not good when we keep dragging. So we're just going to implement a formula. So this plus 1, that will give me my next year. 1 minute. I'll just make all this center. Okay. So the next one. So 2020, the next year it's going to be again. I'm just trying to give a formula. So equal to 2020 plus 1, which will give me, the next year. So I can just drag it forward. It will, copy the formula going forward. Okay. It will just give me the age in years and all that. So now comes my net investment value. So if you see here, net, whatever year end I have, that will be the value the next year starting, correct? Whatever year end I have, whatever savings I have, that will be the beginning value. So I'll just have to link this cell. Enter. So we are good to go. Now my income is increasing by 10%. So that's again where I will implement the formula. This income is going to increase by 10%. The future value again. So 1 plus this, I will freeze it. See, that is where our future value, it becomes, very important. Everywhere we do, everywhere we'll be doing the same thing. We use the same formula. This is the most simplest formula we'll be using. So again, my expense is also going to grow by 8%. 1 plus 8%. Freeze it. And N. So since I have 2 decimals over here, we can, make everything, 2 decimals so that we get a better, calculated value. Fine. That's our, that's our wish. However we want to make it a whole number. Yes, or we have to keep the decimals also. For now, I'm not stressing on all of this. So again, my savings is going to be the same, which will be my income minus expenses. And again, net investments, if I go down, see, you see, it's just automatic calculated. But I need one more, small thing to go forward, which is my financial goals. My financial goals does not start till 2025. But if I just drag these down, it will not take the financial goals into consideration itself, right? I have financial goals. That is the purpose of me creating this financial plan, first of all. So I have to make a provision for this. Provision is nothing but when I just copy, drag it down, everything should get included. For example, 2020, I have already 2 lakhs savings. Already 2 lakhs investment. My savings is 4 lakhs. And at the year end, I have 6.2 lakhs. Say, for example, I have to, suddenly my mom, I just want to buy a jewelry for my mom in the first year itself. So I want to spend about 1 lakh. Okay, 1 lakh, I'm buying a jewelry because you know that the gold, sovereign of gold is about 42,000. So if I have to spend 1 lakh, I'll be getting 2.5 sovereign. So we should get something decent, right? So my plan is to get 1 lakh worth of gold for my mom. Fine. So if you see here, if his financial goal is met, then this value should reduce, right? Our year-end investment is 6.2 lakhs, but I've spent 1 lakh on buying jewelry. So my year beginning should get reduced. But since we have not included this, that does not show over here. So what I'll do is I'll just implement a small formula where if I'm going to do whatever investments at the year end I have, minus if it is meeting my financial goal. If I'm taking something out of that, enter, I will get the answer. Are we good on this? Are you able to understand why, I'm trying to get this done? Are you able to get why I'm, including this formula here? So supposing if I have a financial goal, see our end result is we need to meet this, right? So we have to implement it somewhere in the formula so that when I just copy it, I should also have this implemented over there. That is the reason. Yes. Thank you, Alexi, and thank you, Abdullah. Thank you, Pooja. So what we'll do is I'm just going to implement it over here where I just subtract whatever my investments at your end and my financial goals, that will give me my answer. So once I implement this formula, I can remove this because this is not going to happen now. So it's going to be blank. So already I got my investments. So far, so good. So now the next part is I will have to drag this first and go to till wherever I need it. So we have the retirement we have told us 58. So we'll go till 58. Okay, say till 70 years, we can go till 70, 80 also, not a matter. So we'll go to 80. I think someone is asking me something. Just give me a minute, I'll come back to you. So till 80 years, I'm going to do my financial planning, not more. It's okay, 80 is more than enough for me. Okay, so till 80 years, till 2073, we are going to help the person with his financial goal. Okay, so wait, and somebody is come with something. I'm just seeing what it is. Yes, okay, thank you, Megha, again. So now let's continue. What I'll do is we can link my goals. So in 2025, I have a goal. So what I'll do is I'll put equal to, I'll go to my financial planning and link this. Okay, I'm just linking it. You can type it, but rather if my goals change in that page, it should automatically change here also. So we'll go through that. So 2025, I have a financial goal of starting my business with 14.69 lakhs. And 2027, I have a goal of buying a car. Okay. And 2035, I have a goal of building a home. Right? Okay, this is what it is. Now what I'll do is I'll just drag this down till here. So till here, this is the calculation. Everything will follow the formula I've given. So no changes over there. So now if my formula, if I work this out correctly, at the year end, I have 34 lakhs. I have met a financial goal of 14 lakhs. We'll see if it has taken into consideration. Has it taken? Want to recheck 34 minus 14. 19.71. So our goal is, our formula is correct. So what I can do, I can just drag it further till my, 80 years, till 80 years, I can do it. So how do I explain this? Just give me a minute. I'll explain it to you guys. So if you see over the years, this person can meet, can meet his financial goals. So 2027, he can buy a car and still, he can work. And 2000, if you see here at the 2035, he's spending 174 lakhs because his ambition, his goal is to build a house in 2035 for 55 lakhs, but the inflated value is more, 1 crore and 74 lakhs. So that is where his planning is coming. So if you see here, after this, if it is met here, it goes as negative. So what does this mean? When it goes as negative, it means the net investment value, he does not have enough funds, right? He has only 78 over here, whereas his requirement is 174. So he will not be able to meet the requirement. Hence, what happens is he will have to plan the difference, the difference of this amount, he will plan it via loan. Okay, he will plan it via loan, or he should go down on his expectation. That is, he has to go 55 lakhs. He will not be able to afford a 55 lakhs home, but he will be able to afford a 35 lakhs. We'll have to check if that is okay. Okay. Even then, I think he'll have to go for a loan. If you see here, he'll be going for a loan. See, that is the reason I linked it to that page, so that whenever I make a change over there, I will have to have a change over here. Got it? So this is how we do the calculation. So over a period of time, if you see this part, again, even though it continues, so after a period of time, after a period of time, here again, I'm getting positive values. there is one more thing we should consider. We have mentioned that this person's retiring age is 58. This person's retiring age is 58, whereas our plan shows till, you know, after 58 also he's earning income. Okay, after 58 also it's showing an increase in 10%, whereas this is not the case, right? So we have to go manually and change it to 0 because there's no income, or we can do use a formula. I think you must have learned an if formula. Do you remember if formula? If formula, do you remember? I think sir must have, you know, taught. Wellingry sir must have, you know, gone through if formula, if loop formula. Are you aware of it? Yes, no? Are we aware of it? No? I need some answers. Yes, Dhyanish, thank you. Archana, thank you. So you are aware of the if formula. So what I can do is I can just put a if formula here. It's nothing but if. So what does if do? It gives me a logical test. So to make it easier for you, I'll open the function, you know, box. Just give me a minute. It will open the function box. Okay, see the function box is here. The logical test I want is if the age in years should be, if it is greater than 58. Okay, if the age is greater than 58, if it is true, I should get a 0, right? Otherwise I will have to have the formula, whatever formula I had, you know, earlier. So let me repeat it. 1 minute. I'm just going to add a if loop here, if, and I'll have to give my conditions, the logical testing. So what I'll just do is I'll just copy this and leave it here. Okay, that's the value I need. So, okay. So the logical test is going to be if the age is greater than 58, then the income becomes 0 because he's getting retired at 58. So if it is true, the value will be 0. If not, you will get this answer. Okay. So, and okay. So click on it and I'll just double click on it so that if you go, you know, down, you can, if you drag down, you will see that automatically my values are changing at 59. Okay. So now if you see here, the person is already running on fumes. He is not able to balance, right? Already it's going in negatives, right? Already the values are going, it is, you know, going from his savings. So it is going off from his savings. So that is the reason, you know, that is the reason we plan it. So in order to meet this, what I have to do is I have to increase my investment percentage. So if I can increase my investment percentage from 10 to 14%, you know, varying portfolios, if I can help with that. So if you see, I will be able to meet it. See here, you see here, 116 it goes and 111 it is meeting, and the person is able to get a, you know, value of, this is the power of compounding. He is able to have a positive net value. So this is how we do. So you can change, you know, this person, sometimes we might, you know, go to a different company. Our income percentage, rather than a 10%, we can grow it to a 12%. Or our expenses, again, inflation, it cannot be 8% always. So supposing the inflation percent raises to 9%, we'll have to see if the person, so we can give them various alternatives. We can suggest them a lot of, you know, options to increase their investments, to reduce their expenses, or if the inflation also goes up, this person, this income will, you know, help the person. This is what a financial planning does. So this is what, you know, is financial planning. So we have an income, we have an expense structure, and we try to formulate a plan to meet whatever goals we have and we try to ensure that we meet our net investments to meet up these goals and still survive, till our end. That is what this financial planning, and especially in Excel, we can do lot of combinations and perpetuations. We can do a lot of, mix and matches, increase the expenses, inflation rate, decrease the, inflation rate, increase the investment rate. We can look into various options considering that, because our economy, it keeps changing now and then. If you see today, the bank deposits, they've reduced, and it's almost, between 5 and 6.5% is the maximum, deposit returns we get. Whereas 2 years back, they gave about 7.5 for a fixed deposit. So had we decided, had we, invested in 7.5, and, the inflation suddenly rises to 9%, we would not be able to match it. So we'll have to have, all sort of, options, so that we don't fail or we don't, go behind. This is how we do a financial plan. So do you guys have any questions for me here? Is the concept, clear? Would you like something more here, or is it clear? Do you want something more, or it's okay? Yes, I'm waiting for an answer. No answer? Is it too much? Guys, Pooja, okay. Gyanesh, all good. So I'm, going to send you a last poll. Let's, give you a last poll. What is financial planning? What do you think is financial planning? So I've given the last poll question. I'm sharing the results. So if you see, all of the above is the correct answer, because it boosts savings and it creates wealth. It maximizes the returns from investments, because we are able to get a better idea of the return we get on our investments. So that is the reason, it helps. The financial planning helps. Then helps monitor cash flows and reduces unnecessary expenses. Yes, that's also very true. So all the above is the correct answer. 73% have given me that answer. That's good. So going back, to just give you why, we need to use financial planning, or the benefits we have. Okay. Yeah. So the benefits of financial planning is it helps monitor cash flows and reduces unnecessary expenditure. It enables maintenance of an optimum balance between incomes and expenses, helps boost savings and creates wealth. It helps reduce tax liability. That's what is financial planning. We have to plan, whatever we earn, a portion of it is to be paid as tax. But, we also have so there are a lot of benefits given by the department, so we'll have to utilize also that. So it helps reduce the, the tax liability. It maximizes returns from investments. It creates wealth and ensures better wealth management to achieve life goals. Financially secures retirement life, reviews insurance needs, and therefore also ensures that dependents are financially secure in the unfortunate event of whatever. So we are well prepared. That is what this says. We are well prepared in what we need in our goals. We dream big, and then we try to achieve what we dream. Okay, that is what is saying. So I would, ask you guys to set goals, set them, you be them, and you reach them. Okay. So hope you had a happy learning here. So do you have any questions for me? Do you have any questions for me? Are we having any questions, or, you're okay, we are done? Actually, my class is done. So you should tell me if you have any questions, or if you have anything to tell to me. No, ma'am, all clear. Pooja. So if it's all no, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, Danish. Thank you, Rexy. Hope, this session was, a bit more informative and helpful. You can use it anywhere. This is a simple format. Can the same formula be done for a short period of time? Yes, short period of time also we can do. We can do it. Maybe instead of putting them in years, we'll have to try for in months. We'll have to. It's all, you can try that also. So say for example, in the same example, if there's shortage of money, we can go for loans. So when we go for loans, we can go for EMI calculation. So we know how to calculate EMI also. So once we know how much we have to calculate EMI, that due also can be included in our expenses. So along with our EMI also, we can plan our financial planning, to complete. Say we are going to take a home loan, we have a EMI and we also have a goal to achieve, right? So we can mix, you can put the EMI schedule and you can bring that expenses also to this expenses and plan, repaying this amount in an early way. If you're going to take a loan for 10 years, we can complete it in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, as per our requirement. So that is how, Excel is a medium where it is saving you a lot of time. We understand the concept, we implement it, we'll be able to do, wonders here. That's it. Yes, Mithun, you can use the same formula. The formula, I think we used only one formula here. We just, everywhere we used, the future value, and we tried to, bring it into a plan. The formula is same. Future value formula is the same, right? So anything else, people? Anything else, students, you would like to tell me? Or if that's done, then it's bye. Thank you. Thank you, Mithun. So then, yes, good to go. Bye-bye. Take care. Stay safe. Happy learning.